Neville had a long career in FTSE 250 companies at both strategic and operational levels. His corporate and commercial finance background is gained over 30 years in international businesses, mainly in the oil and gas industry, dealing with large and small businesses and complex supply chains. He has accomplished track record of negotiating the business maze of short and long-term commercial, political, and environmental forces that influence all decisions. Neville Gaunt is also well-known international keynote speaker and a co-author of a bestseller book called Is Your Mind Fit for Goals? The Missing Link to Your Success. Go and read this book. Good morning, Neville. Welcome to TopBrass Roundtable.
Good morning, CK. I hope you're well on this very fine morning.
Thank you, Neville. And in fact, today's subject is the latest scare that the globe has seen, that is the coronavirus scare. And you name any country, they have blacked out. There are advisories issued. The business are confused what to do. So, what do you think is going to happen, especially now when the global economy is in already in the doldrums?
Well, the interesting thing is, you would almost think it's world's end, according to what some people were going to say. The economic markets are in free fall. They're not, by the way, but that's what some journalists are saying. They've gone down, 15%-ish. But as we've already noticed, some of those markets are recovering, because when markets start to fall, certainly in the global economy, in the Far East, in Europe or in America, the traders say, here's an opportunity. I can now sell short and buy in when it goes to what I think is going to be a lower price. So they've effectively taken a 10% improvement on the value of their asset. And that's really what's happening in some markets. Of course, there are some areas where it is a real fall. So consumer demand for oil and gas has considerably reduced in the short term. Why is that? Well, Italy's on lockdown. People aren't travelling. Diesel's not being used. Petrol's not being used. Electricity's not being used. People are told to stay at home. The schools are closed. So schools are not using electricity or gas. So there is a physical demand shift. Equally, that's been matched with, as we've heard on the TV, Russia and Saudi Arabia saying, we're not going to cut our volumes. We're very happy with the volumes. So if people are asking for less, demand is falling, but the supply is still up there, then guess what? Price comes down, and it comes down even more. So we're seeing some fluctuations which happen because we're in a volatile world. People aren't collaborating together. They're not sharing best information. And that's the fact of life. So what does that mean to the small business arena? The entrepreneur that might not be working in that global market, but certainly, like you and I are working very locally sometimes. What I've seen here is the coronavirus is a classic problem that SMEs struggle with in what information's available, but more importantly, where's it coming from? What's the quality of that information? I mean, you know yourself that to make the best decision, you do need the best information. So what I'm finding currently is that a lot of the information out there is well-meaning, but not from experts. So you get influencers that are talking about the coronavirus, but they're not health specialists. I'm not a health specialist. And when people ask me, what's your opinion on the coronavirus? I say, well, go and ask an expert for the health stuff. I can suggest what it might be on the business side, but don't ask me about the health arena, what I should be doing, because I'm going to go and Google, this term that we can now use, Google it, go online, find out from your own government's health experts what the real issues are, what you can do, not what you can't do, but what you can do. We've seen over in the UK and certainly in the Western world, wash your hands. Social contact is a real issue. So our social contact, here, I'm going to give you a digital shake. There you go.
Yes,
And
this is not going to spread the virus.
it's not going to spread the virus. But the key thing is now is SMEs can really take the benefit of this. So stop talking about coronavirus. Do something that you can do about the circumstances around coronavirus. Work digitally. It's cheaper, it's more focused, it's more economical, and you can actually get to a decision much, much faster. But who's doing it? And the answer is not many. So the first bit of advice we can say today is you're now an SME owner. You're an entrepreneur. Other businesses are still out there. They may be working from home. You know, I'm working from home. I'm in my study. It's very relaxing. I've got all of the accoutrements around me. I've got my coffee mug that gets filled every time, and I've got plenty of fluids to keep me hydrated. I've got the heating at the right temperature. I'm not even having to worry about what the weather's doing out there as to whether I'm going to travel to a client to talk to them, what the roads are going to be like, whether it's in the school run time, in which case it's going to be, you know, gridlock and all of those excuses that I would have when I turn up to see a client an hour and a half later having left home. So the benefit is, let's go digital. Let's really embrace the digital arena. And you work digitally all the time. You know, we're something like 7,000 miles difference. And the beauty is we're working over a medium that for the majority of people out there is free, without the aggro associated.
In fact, I would like to share my experience which I had in the morning. Today is my kids' parent-teacher meeting, PTM as we call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was supposed to be organized for distribution of the annual results. Now,
Important time, very important time.
right. So the PTM is a monthly affair. One day in a month, all parents have to go to school, queue up outside the class, meet the teacher for 10 minutes, and come back. So this takes the entire day actually, because you have to drive 20 kilometers, you have to wait for your turn, you have to meet the teacher, come back. For some reason, the school cancelled the meeting today, and they said, "Hey, why don't you come on Hangout?" Right? So I'm sharing this experience because Hangout is not something new, and as you said
No.
rightly, time has come for everyone to move to digital platforms. But I think it's a mindset because the Hangout was there for last 20 years. Online medium was there for last 15 years. Social media has been active for last 15 years. But for the first time, just because there is a coronavirus scare, the school said, "Hey, don't come to school. We will do it online." So I think it's a trigger which happened where the school is forced to use the technology which is freely available.
Well, in some respects, that's revolutionary, you know. But as you and I both know, there's nothing new in it. It's actually, let's look at the behaviours that this actually is going to drive now. So, how many kids, how many parents will have to turn up at this one-day event, roughly? Just a rough number.
About 120 to 150 people, roughly.
Okay, so 120 to 150 people have had to put a time in their calendar to disrupt their regular, not that this isn't important, this is a really important day in your child's career, you know, their future. So you need to really put the time in, you know, as a good parent, any parent would do that. So, but you're talking about over 100 people that are changing their calendar. And as you say, it's not just a 15, 20-minute meeting. And if you've got a number of teachers you've got to see, it's not just 2 hours, right. You know? Typically, it's an hour and a half to get there. It's an hour and a half to get back. So just from a business context, a 2-hour meeting is now 5 hours. Plus all of the anguish that you've had stuck in traffic, trying to get there. Imagine that all of the schools in the local area did it on the same day. Now you're not talking about 100 people, you're probably talking about 1,000 people. And the knock-on effect of that travel. More pollutants in the air because, frankly, there isn't a car, even electric cars are polluting. Even in the manufacture of the batteries, we've created pollution. So all of that, what I would classify as behavioural waste, you've heard me use that term more and more, is now evaporated because there's no value in it. That's why it's a waste. I mean, you wouldn't take a 1,000 rupee note and just burn it and say, yeah, that's my contribution. But you wouldn't think twice of jumping in a car and spending an hour and a half on one journey and an hour and a half on the journey back because it's important. But you may as well have just burnt that 1,000 rupee note, frankly. But the other thing is, what behaviours is it now driving? I'm now using a diary as a diary was meant to be used. I can have that meeting over the web like we are doing now. We can get more value out of it. The teacher can still bring up the results on the screen and have a very interactive discussion with you, rather than print out all this stuff, put it in front of you, that you're not allowed to take home or what have you. You can have a digital copy. So again, we're not cutting down trees here. Well, again, eureka. Guess what? We've been here for 15 years. We've never had to cut down another tree to make a paper copy.
Right.
So another behaviour that it's driving. But the efficiency of time is absolutely huge. And the other thing is, now you're having a conversation with that teacher, what's the knock-on behaviour that you might have in a digital world? If that teacher's got a problem with your child, guess what? They don't have to write it in the book. They could send you a message and say, I'd like a 5-minute conversation with you, but don't spend an hour and a half in the car to get here. We've got 5 minutes on Wednesday at 5:05, and we can have a short chat. We need to realign what's going on. Or I need to tell you how good your child's really doing. And let's work out why they're so good here, but not good over there. So that one thing, using Hangouts, hopefully will fundamentally change behaviours going forward. My guess is, when the coronavirus scare's gone, they'll revert back to the original.
Unless there are IT players, the startup or the SMEs, who come out with specialized solutions and say that, hey, why do you have people come? It's not only about traveling, it's also about parking. When you reach school, there are 100 cars which needs to be parked there.
Exactly.
Right?
It's only geared up for the few teachers that are there. It's not geared up for every parent to come, So now the cars are parked in the road and you've had all the aggravation there, and now you can't even park in a car park. I've got to walk 10 minutes, This is more aggravation for me. And then you meet that teacher, and guess what? You're not in the right framework. You're not emotionally competent. And all you want to do is offload of how bad the parking was. And it's actually that teacher that's their problem. you
Right.
know.
So I think the more important aspect is packaging the solution in the in the right way. So there could be a solution for schools. There could be another solution for offices, because I think the same scenario will play out there, where thousands and thousands of people are coming to the office. So whoever can work from home can stay at home, and if there is a proper virtual office kind of a solution available. So I think there is an opportunity which can be encashed, which can be utilized. Why I'm saying there's an opportunity, because there is a very important aspect related to security, because we have Hangout which is free, but I think for a serious business you need to have security. So what do you think, considering this scenario, and how the cybersecurity will play a big role in transitioning from physical world to virtual world?
Well, you raise a really important issue, and there's so much written on cybersecurity. It's almost the coronavirus of yesterday, because it is a virus. Fundamentally, if you do not put even the basic level of protection on this arena, your PC, your mobile, because a lot of people that I talk to don't realise that they can put security on their mobile. And I'm not talking about a PIN code. I'm talking about the fact that when you use the free Wi-Fi that's available, okay, and as you and I both know, there's nothing for free in this world, fundamentally.
Right.
There's always a cost somewhere. If you use that free Wi-Fi and it pops up and it says, this is an open environment, it may not be secure.
Yeah.
How many people just ignore that? They just click, okay. Because they've got this inherent trust that, frankly, they should. So whilst we're looking at the change in behaviour that the digital world will do, it's not in this, for instance, and we'll look at your child's your meeting with your child's teacher. You've taken all of the security around your drive. You're driving to school and making sure you're in a safe environment and you get there in one piece. You don't have an accident. You park the car in a safe area and you go back and it's still safe. There's no scratches on the car. We need to adopt that same approach now in a digital world. So ask the question, what do I need to be safe? We're going from A to B. You're B, I'm A, or you're A, I'm B. Here you go. So you're A, I'm B. We're having a conversation A to B. We're physically connected over screens and the internet. How secure are we? Well, you and I both know we're on a very secure platform. No one can log into this. No one's allowed to, because you block them out. We can't make the assumption that is always the case. We need to know that when I'm talking with someone over here, that conversation's private. And the interesting thing is, what you need to do is prove it to yourself. So when you sign up for WhatsApp or all of these other, great digital tools that are out there, and a lot are free, so by all means use the free stuff. Look at the terms and conditions. Just see what information is there. Look at your social profile. And this is where it becomes really important to business owners. This conversation is part of your and my social profile.
Right.
When you launch, everyone will see who we are. They will form an opinion just by looking at the video, even if they've not got the sound on. So your social profile, our social profile, is really important. And that's what the digital space opens us up to. And it's not about your position, who you are, your title, the address, your phone number, but it's what do you do? And this is where the digital space, if owners small business owners, and because large business owners do it, if they can start to work in this digital space and put their own performance out there, then as you and I both know, people buy from people. And the digital world allows us to do things much, much faster. It could go viral. You and I have had some interesting conversations with people where, you know, frankly, some people have been the most boring presenters out. They're monotone. They're absolutely fantastic. They know everything about their product, all the technical ins and outs. They don't know how to pitch it. They don't know how to sell. And of course, they get in this mode of, oh, I need to sell, I need to pitch. And the last thing people want to do is to hear a pitch. So they're very happy to have a conversation.
Yeah, so this is why I would like to tell my viewers that you know, there are opportunity on one side, which is for the software developers or the system integrators to come out with solutions which will cater to the virtual environment, which is related to offices or schools or any other virtual world. And to take a lead, MindFit Limited, which is Neville's company, and my company, which is Akulmac, we have actually tied up to bring, for the first time in the world, a workshop on a virtual platform. And this is specifically planned for chief executives and leaders. And come on this platform, make your pitch, basically share your ideas with others, sit together, and on virtual platform using whiteboard with Neville as an instructor, training all the chief executives, and basically decide your pitch. So Neville, why don't you give a little bit more information on this program?
Well, very simply, I mean, a lot of people will say you need to be pitch perfect, and and it's a sales pitch. It's nothing of the sort, frankly, because if I need to find information about your organisation, you're online, typically, you've got a website, I can find you in social media, I can find everything about you if I really want to. But I will find out lots of technical stuff. And what we find all over, and organisations, some organisations, networking organisations, are set up to help you improve your pitch. I say, don't pitch, stop pitching. There's an old phrase that says from contact to contract is one letter, and it's the letter R, and it's building a relationship. R stands for relationship, and if you can build that relationship, guess what? You'll be very successful. They may not buy from you, but that isn't what your aim should be. Your aim should be is to get them to understand who you are. So people buy from people. The thing is, that's been chopped by, let's say, salespeople out there that can only remember short things, all right? Neither you nor I have got the sales title, okay? So I'm sorry if anyone's listening to the sales arena, but this is a fact of life, so get over it, fundamentally. Be more resilient. People buy from people they know and trust. But as you can see, you've lost sight of my right hand, because we've got this phrase, people buy from people. And there is this fictitious thought process that you've only got 30 seconds to get your message over. Some people will say you've only got 10 seconds. What can you realistically do in 10 seconds? I'll tell you one thing you can do. You can smile. Anyone can smile. It's a universal language. You don't even have to open your mouth. You can smile. And how many people do? Right. So our process around this team building session on Saturday is unique. We're going to have 15 business owners around the world that are all going to come together on what we call it a boardroom. because that's what it is. It's a round table boardroom discussion. It's not going to be printed. It's not going to be copied and sent around the world. This is very, very closed arena. This is an opportunity for you to discuss what you do, how you do it, in a very informal setting. It's a workshop. You can do it from your own home, and that's the beauty. We're not restricted by coronavirus. We're not restricted by the fact that we've got to struggle into a meeting room. You can do it from your own home, from your study, or from your office, and it's an active workshop. It's not me and CK spouting stuff at you, telling you what you should be doing. This is an open forum where we will all learn. Because the key is, the more we learn and the more we practice, the better we will be. So, I mean, that just, I hope it doesn't say it in a nutshell, it says it in, far too many words. But fundamentally, this is a workshop. It's online. Be prepared to be put under pressure.
So
does that help?
Yes. So this is just a preview from Neville. Ladies and gentlemen, this workshop is on 14th of March at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. India time. And I will actually add the description and also the link for you to join in this workshop. Please join in and take advantage. This is again on a virtual platform where up to 15 CIOs, CXOs will be able to join. It's a very closed boardroom kind of a discussion. So do take advantage of this facility. So it is a pleasure talking to you, Neville. And I hope coronavirus become a catalyst for us to change our way we carry on our business. I really hope so. I hope the people will see the opportunities and come out with new systems which are secure and tailor-made for various business activities on a virtual platform. So with this, I will say goodbye to you this week. We will catch you again next week, same time, same day on Tuesday.
Same place, same channel. And a high five?
High five.
A virtual high five. There we go.
Yes. This will not give us any infection.
No infection.
Or we can
Good luck, everybody.
Or we can do
Embrace
the Indian style. We can do the Indian style. Namaste.
No, namaste.
See you, Neville. See you next time.